Introduction. Welcome to our journey through the history of Canada. From the time of the First Nations to the modern era, let's explore together the key events that have shaped this great nation. The First Nations and Indigenous peoples. Long before the arrival of Europeans, Canada was home to diverse Indigenous nations. These nations, such as the Inuit, Iroquois, and Algonquin, developed rich cultures deeply connected to the land. Each nation had its own distinct social structures, languages, and spiritual beliefs. The Inuit, for example, were skilled hunters and fishers, adapted to the harsh Arctic environment, while the Iroquois formed powerful confederacies. Their contributions to Canadian history are profound. Indigenous knowledge and traditions have influenced modern Canadian society in areas such as environmental stewardship and social justice. Despite centuries of colonization and challenges, Indigenous cultures and identities have persisted and are thriving today. Contemporary movements for Indigenous rights and reconciliation are vital parts of Canada's ongoing story. The arrival of the Europeans. In the 15th century, European explorers arrived on Canadian shores. Who were they, and what were they seeking? John Cabot, an Italian navigator, was among the first, exploring the coast of Newfoundland in 1497 under the Commission of England. He was followed by French explorer Jacques Cartier, who in 1534 claimed what is now Canada for France. These early explorations were driven by the search for new trade routes and resources. The Europeans were fascinated by the rich fisheries and fur-bearing animals of the region. The initial contacts between Europeans and Indigenous peoples were complex, involving trade, cultural exchanges, and, unfortunately, conflicts and misunderstandings. These encounters set the stage for future interactions and colonization. New France. With the establishment of New France, the French began to colonize the Canadian territory. How did this period influence Canada today? Samuel de Champlain, known as the Father of New France, founded Quebec City in 1608. His efforts in mapping and exploring helped establish French presence in the region. New France thrived on the fur trade, with alliances formed between French traders and Indigenous peoples like the Huron-Wendat. These relationships were crucial for the economic success of the colony. The French influence is still evident in Canada, particularly in Quebec, where French language and culture remain vibrant. This period also set the foundation for the cultural diversity that characterizes modern Canada. The fall of New France in 1763, after the Treaty of Paris, led to British control, but the French cultural legacy continued to shape the identity of Canada. Anglo-French conflicts. Tensions between French and English colonies led to several conflicts. Let's explore the 7 Years' War and its consequences. The 7 Years' War was a global conflict, but its North American theater was particularly significant. The Battle of the Plains of Abraham in 1759 was a pivotal moment, leading to the British victory over the French. The Treaty of Paris in 1763 ended the war, with France ceding much of its North American territories to Britain. This dramatically changed the political landscape of Canada. The war's aftermath saw the beginning of significant British immigration to Canada and the establishment of British institutions, laws, and cultural practices. Despite the British dominance, the French-speaking population maintained their language, religion, and customs, leading to a unique bilingual and bicultural nation. Canadian Confederation. On July 1, 1867, the Canadian Confederation was formed. What did this mean for Canada, and how did we get there? The British North America Act of 1867 united the colonies of Canada, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia into a single dominion within the British Empire. This was driven by the need for economic stability and defense. The fathers of Confederation, such as John A. Macdonald and George Etienne Cartier, played crucial roles in negotiating and drafting the terms of the Union. Confederation marked the beginning of Canada's journey toward full sovereignty, setting the stage for future expansions and the inclusion of more provinces and territories. The creation of a federal system allowed for regional diversity while maintaining national unity, a principle that continues to define Canada today. Westward expansion and the Transcontinental Railway. Westward expansion and the construction of the Transcontinental Railway transformed Canada. What were the motivations and challenges of this endeavor? The dream of a transcontinental railway was vital for uniting the vast territories of Canada and promoting economic development. The Canadian Pacific Railway was completed in 1885, linking the eastern provinces with British Columbia. The construction faced immense challenges, including difficult terrain, harsh weather, and labor shortages. Many workers, including Chinese immigrants, played crucial roles under often harsh and dangerous conditions. The railway facilitated the settlement of the western provinces, contributing to Canada's agricultural and industrial growth. It also played a strategic role in national defense. The completion of the CPR symbolized Canadian unity and ambition, becoming a source of national pride and an enduring legacy of infrastructure development. World Wars and their impact. Canada played a crucial role in both world wars. What was this impact, and how did it change the nation? During World War I, over 600,000 Canadians served, with significant contributions at battles like Vimy Ridge. The war effort fostered a sense of national identity and international recognition. World War II saw even greater involvement, with Canada playing key roles in battles such as the Normandy invasion. The war spurred economic growth and technological advancements. The impact of the wars extended beyond the battlefield. They accelerated social changes, including greater roles for women in the workforce and the beginning of civil rights movements. Post-war, Canada emerged as a middle power with a strong commitment to peacekeeping and international cooperation, shaping its foreign policy for decades. Modern Canada. Entering the 20th and 21st centuries, Canada evolved to become the diverse and multicultural nation we know today. What were the key moments in this transformation? The Quiet Revolution in Quebec during the 1960s was a period of intense social, political, and cultural change, leading to increased secularism and the affirmation of Quebecois identity. Canada's official adoption of multiculturalism in 1971 under Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau celebrated the country's diversity, promoting inclusion and equal rights for all citizens. The evolution of Indigenous rights saw significant milestones, including the recognition of land claims and the establishment of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to address the impacts of residential schools. Contemporary Canada is shaped by its commitment to diversity, equality, and human rights, continuing to build on its rich historical legacy. Conclusion. From the past to the present, Canada's history is rich and varied. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Canada is an amazing country, celebrated for its diversity and commitment to inclusion. From the vibrant cultures of Indigenous peoples to the contributions of immigrants from around the world, Canada's strength lies in its unity through diversity. The government continues to implement strategies to maintain and enhance this inclusiveness, ensuring equal opportunities and fostering a society where everyone can thrive.